Hello friends, I am Sunita Fadkule, working in JSPM Jayawantrao Sawan College of Engineering, Hadapsar, Pune. So in continuation with earlier problems, we are going to solve today 4 problems. These problems are undamped free vibrations. Okay, so let us see the first problem. The problem statement is find natural frequency of the system shown in the following figure. Take K is equal to 2 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per meter and M is equal to 20 kg. Okay, this is the problem on springs. If springs are connected in series and parallel, how to find out combined stiffness of springs or equivalent stiffness of spring. Okay, so see, this is the mass. It is attached with these many springs. So if I pull the mass and release it, what is the natural frequency of vibration of this system that we are supposed to find out? Okay, so there are different steps of this problem. So what is the first step? See, this we have to start from here. This is spring K and this is spring K. So these two springs are connected in parallel. So if two springs are connected in parallel, their equivalent stiffness will be found out by just adding those two stiffnesses. So this is our first step. So Ke1 is equal to K plus K, that is equal to 2K. So Ke1 is equal to 2K. Okay. So instead of these two springs, now in the next diagram, I will draw only one spring that is of equivalent stiffness. Okay. So this is this diagram B now. See here. Okay. So this is the spring of equivalent stiffness, that is Ke1. Okay. Now in this diagram, let us combine these two springs having stiffnesses Ke1 and K. Now these two springs are connected in series. So how to find out their equivalent stiffness? We know the formula. 1 upon Ke2 is equal to 1 upon Ke1 plus 1 upon K. Okay. So 1 upon Ke2 is equal to, what is the value of Ke1? We have already found out, that is 2K. So put the value of Ke1, that is 1 upon 2K plus 1 upon K. Okay. So that will give you 1 upon Ke2 is equal to 3 upon 2K. So what you will get? Ke2 is equal to 2K upon 3. This is the equivalent stiffness of these two springs. Okay. So in the next diagram, I will replace these two springs by single spring, single equivalent spring Ke2. So let us see this diagram C now. Okay. So here spring Ke2 and here this spring K. Now I have to combine these two springs. These two springs are connected in parallel. So how to find out their combined stiffness Ke3? Just adding their stiffnesses. So Ke3 is equal to Ke2 plus K. So 2K upon 3 plus K will give you Ke3 is equal to 5K upon 3. Okay. So in the next diagram, instead of these two springs, I will just draw a one spring representing Ke3. Okay. So look here. This is Ke3, which is connected to K in series. Okay. So what will be my next step? To combine these two springs which are connected in series. So how to find out their equivalent stiffness? 1 upon Ke4 is equal to 1 upon Ke3 plus 1 upon K. Putting the value of Ke3, 3 upon 5K plus 1 upon K. I will get Ke4 is equal to 5K upon 8. So in the next diagram, I will replace these two springs by Ke4. So let us go to this diagram. Now this is the spring having stiffness Ke4 and this is having stiffness K. These two springs are connected in parallel. So how to find out their equivalent stiffness? Ke5 is equal to Ke4 plus K. So what is the addition? Ke5 is equal to 13K upon 8. So now these two springs I have to draw here. Instead of these two, I have to draw here Ke5. Okay. So now these are the two springs connected in series. So how should I add these two springs in series? Again, using the same formula, 1 upon Ke6 is equal to 1 upon Ke5 plus 1 upon K. So by adding these two, what are we getting? Ke6 is equal to 13K upon 21. So these two springs will be replaced by a single spring having stiffness Ke6. Now this is our regular spring mass system. You are familiar with this system. A spring having stiffness K and mass having mass M. How to find out the natural frequency of this spring mass system? Fn is equal to 1 upon 2 pi square root of K upon M. Now here instead of K, it is Ke6, that is equivalent spring stiffness of all the springs, whatever we had connected. Okay. So 1 upon 2 pi is equal, Fn is equal to 1 upon 2 pi square root of putting the value of Ke6, that is 13K upon 21 into M. Okay. So putting the value of K, which is given 2 into 10 raised to 5, putting the value of M, that is 20, we will get natural frequency 12.5 Hertz. Okay. So I hope you understand how to connect the springs in, means if the springs are connected in series or parallel, how to find out their equivalent stiffness. Okay. Now, this is the second problem. Okay. It is, see, the system is shown like this. So what is the problem statement? Find the natural frequency of following system. If M is given 10 kg, attach at one end of the weightless rod and K is equal to 1000 Newton per meter. Okay. So let us get understood this system, how it works. Okay. See, this O point, this is a pivot point. Okay. So OA and OB. Okay. This is actually AB is a rod. Okay. AB is the rod which is pivoted at point O. And then at point A, the spring is connected. The other end of the spring is fixed. And one end is connected to A. And end B is free. Okay. Now, if I give torque, or if I apply torque, a small torque to point B or force at point B and release, what will happen? This rod AB will vibrate about this point O. So vibrating point is O. Okay. So we have to find out what is the natural frequency of this rod. Okay. When we give the, when it is subjected to free undamped vibration. Okay. So let us see, this is the problem on angular motion. So here two parameters we have to consider. The parameter theta, by which this rod will rotate, that is by an angle theta, and the other parameter of the spring, that means spring will be deflected by amount x, and there is a certain relation between x and theta. That's why this is a single DOI problem. Okay. So let us assume very small angular displacement theta of the rod in vertical plane around pivot point O. Okay. Now you have to apply the Newton's second law. You have to follow the regular process which we have followed in the earlier problems. Okay. So how will you write down Newton's second law? Inertia torque is equal to summation of all the torques. You have to assume sign convention. So what sign convention we are going to assume? As inertia torque here is in the direction of clockwise. Okay. So we are going to assume clockwise direction as positive. Okay. As rod is rotating, rod is displaced by an angle theta in clockwise direction, inertia torque will also act in the clockwise direction. So IO theta double dot, it is inertia torque, is equal to remaining torques. Okay. So how many torques are there now? There is only one torque. Okay. Because this AB rod, it is a weightless. So we are not going to consider any inertia of this rod, but we are going to consider the restoring force only about only of this K, the spring K. But as we are not going to consider any elasticity of this rod AB, okay, we are just going to consider mass moment of inertia of this AB, which already we have considered. Okay, that is in inertia torque. So this spring will be deflected by amount, say X. Okay, here it is shown. So what is the relation between this X and this theta? See, how much is this distance? This is 0.2 L from O to A, and from O to B it is 0.8 L. Okay, so what is the relation between X and theta? You have to simply apply the formula. R is equal to say X arc is equal to theta into length or radius. So X is equal to, what is this distance? 0.2 L into theta. Okay, so here, so what is the spring force now here? K into X, spring force. In which direction it is acting? See, as spring is getting spring is getting stretched, so spring force will be downward. Okay, so it will give moment about this point O in anti-clockwise direction. Okay, so it will be negative torque because we have assumed clockwise positive. So what will be the moment of this spring force about point O? Force is K into X. It is minus because anti-clockwise. So minus Kx into this distance, perpendicular distance. How much it is? 0.2 L. This is 0.2 L. Okay, into theta. So into cos theta you can say. So IO theta double dot is equal to minus Kx into 0.2 L cos theta. Okay, but we know that as theta is very small, cos theta is equal to 1. Okay, and put the value of X here. That is 0.2 L into theta. So what we will get? IO theta double dot is equal to minus K into 0.2 L theta into 0.2 L into 1. Okay, so simplifying, what we are getting? IO theta double dot is equal to minus 0.04 L square K theta. Now bring this term towards left side. So what we are getting? IO theta double dot is equal to 0.04 L square K into theta is equal to 0. Now, what is the value of IO here? That we have to find out. This is nothing but like a simple pendulum. Okay, you can treat this as a simple pendulum. So, what is the mass moment of inertia of simple pendulum about pivoted point? It is m L square by 12. Okay, so here also, what we are getting? See this I. Okay, there is the value of I. So IO is equal to, sorry, not ml square by 2, it is simply ml square. So this is m, and what is this L? This is 0.8 L. So IO is equal to m into 0.8 L bracket square. Okay, so putting the value of IO here, IO is equal to m L square, means L is here 0.8 L. So IO is equal to 0.64 ml square. When we put this value in above equation, what are we getting? IO, that is 0.64 ml square into theta double dot plus 0.04 L square into K into theta is equal to 0. So how will you write down this equation in your regular format of simple harmonic motion? Divide this term and write like this. Theta double dot is equal to 0.04 L square K upon 0.64 m L square into theta is equal to 0. So simplifying this term, what does this term will give you? K upon 16 m. So this will represent omega n square. So what is the equation of our SHM? Theta double dot plus omega n square theta is equal to 0. So omega n is equal to square root of K upon 16 m. Okay, so just put the value of K, which is given 1000 Newton per meter. Put the value of m, that is 10 kg. You will get natural frequency 0.39 hertz. Okay, so this is the problem on say angular motion. Now let us consider the problem of combination of disc and spring. Okay, see, this is the problem. Such type of problem are frequently asked in the examination for 6 to 8 marks. Okay, so just we'll see what is the problem statement. The mass m, small m, is hanging from a cord attached to the circular homogeneous disk of mass capital M and radius capital R as shown in following figure. See, this is the mass small m which is attached with the help of a cord to this pulley or disc, and this disc is having mass capital M. Okay, and the disc is having radius capital R. So the disc is restrained from rotating by a spring attached at radius R, small r, from the center. See, this disc is connected to this spring having stiffness K at this point. Okay, so this point, suppose we will call it as a B. Suppose I have not shown here, this is point B. Okay, and so spring is connected at point B to this disc. Okay, if the mass is displaced downward from the rest position, determine the frequency of oscillation. So what we are going to find out, if I displace this mass, say downward by suppose x1 amount, okay, and release it, this system will vibrate. So what is the natural frequency of vibration of this system, that we have to find out. Okay, now see, there are two x here, there are three parameters here which are connected with each other. Okay, one is x1, small x1. This m will move downward by x1 amount. Okay, when it will move, or when this m will be moving by x1 amount downward, this pulley, as it is connected with the mass, it will rotate in clockwise direction by certain amount, say that amount is theta. Okay, so earlier A point, which was in the equilibrium position, now it moves to point A dash. So OA, angle OA dash is theta. So when mass m will move by x1 amount, this disc will move by theta amount. Okay, so what is the relation between this x1 and this theta then? Again, you simply apply the equation, arc is equal to angle into radius. So this AA dash, okay, it is nothing but x1. So x1 is equal to capital R into theta. See, I have written here, x1 is equal to capital R into theta. So this is the relation between x1 and theta. Okay, now when this disc will rotate or move by angular displacement theta, this spring is going to stretch because it is connected to the spring. So by what amount it will be stretched, that is not equal to x1, that is not equal to capital R into theta. But see here, I have shown here, what is the extension of this spring? Here spring is connected to the disc. So as point A will move to A dash, this point B will move to B dash. So what is the displacement B to B dash? Say we will call it as a x2. Okay. So what is the relation between this x2 and this theta? Again, you have to use the same equation. Arc is equal to angle into radius. So angle is same theta. But what is the radius here? See, this distance is given small r. So r is the distance of the spring from point O. So how much is x2? Small r into theta. See, I have written here. x2 is equal to small r into theta. Understood? So here there is a x1, there is a theta, there is a x2. So x1 is the displacement of mass m, theta is the angular displacement of a disc or pulley, and x2 is the displacement of the spring. And all these three are connected by this equation. x1 is equal to capital R theta and x2 is equal to small r theta. Okay. So now as x1 is equal to capital R theta, differentiating, what you will get? x1 dot is equal to r theta dot. R is constant, which is radius. So x1 dot is equal to r into theta dot. Okay. Similarly, x2 is equal to r theta. R is constant. So what is x2 dot? Differentiating, we will be getting x2 dot is equal to r into theta dot. Okay. Now here, generally for such type of problem, we use energy method. That makes us the simplified equations. Okay. So what is your energy method? See, total energy of the system will remain constant. What is the total energy associated with this vibratory system? Kinetic energy and potential energy. So what is the kinetic energy? Total kinetic energy, translational kinetic energy plus rotational kinetic energy. See here in this diagram, mass m will move along the linear direction, that is translatory motion. So it will be possessing certain kinetic energy. Then this disk will be possessing rotational kinetic energy. Okay, so total kinetic energy is kinetic energy possessed by this mass, that is translational kinetic energy, and kinetic energy possessed by this pulley, that is rotational kinetic energy. Okay, so kinetic energy is equal to, what is the translational kinetic energy? 1/2 m x1 dot square. And what is the rotational kinetic energy? 1/2 I theta dot square. Okay, your regular equation, kinetic energy is equal to 1/2 mv square. So instead of v, here we have written x1 dot, and instead of omega, here we have written theta dot. Okay, so this is your total kinetic energy. Now what is the potential energy? There is a spring here which will provide potential energy. So what is the potential energy provided by the spring? PE is equal to 1/2 K x2 square. Okay, because spring is deflected by x2 amount. So potential energy of the spring is 1/2 K x2 square. Now add this, total energy is equal to, so let us say U is the total energy associated with the system, that is equal to 1/2 m x1 dot square plus 1/2 I theta dot square, this is kinetic energy, plus 1/2 K x2 square. Okay, this is the potential energy. Understood? Now further part is just the mathematics, no vibration is involved in that one. Okay, so U is equal to, now here there are, see, we have written x1 also, we have written x2 also, we have written theta also. Okay, so unless and until you write down these three parameters in only one parameter, you are not going to simplify further equation. Okay, so what we are going to put? We are going to put the value of x1. You know what is x1? Capital R theta. Or what is x1 dot? R theta dot. And what is x2? Small r theta. Okay, so putting the values of x1 and x2 in terms of theta. Already we have seen here in this diagram. See, x1 is equal to r theta, x2 is equal to small r theta. And differentiating, x1 dot is equal to r theta dot. So U is equal to 1/2 m r square. X1 we have replaced. X1 dot square is equal to r square theta dot square. Okay. Then 1/2 I theta dot square keep as it is. Plus 1/2 K x2 square is replaced by r square theta square. Okay. So now every term consists of theta, no x1 or x2 is there. This is very important step in whenever there are two parameters involved, or whenever there are two types of motion involved in the vibration, rotating also and translatory also. Okay, so now differentiate this. Differentiating du by dt is equal to 0, because you know total energy is going to remain constant. So differentiation of summation of energy is equal to 0. So what is the differentiation of first term? 1/2 m r square is constant. So what is the differentiation of theta dot square? Twice theta into theta double dot. So these 2 and this 1/2 is cancelled. So what is remaining? M r square theta dot theta double dot. What is the differentiation of second term? 1/2 I is constant. What is the differentiation of theta dot square? 2 theta dot theta double dot. Okay, so 1/2 and 2 will be cancelled. What is remaining? I theta dot theta double dot. Okay, what is the differentiation of third term? 1/2 K r square is constant. What is the differentiation of theta square? 2 theta theta dot. So 2 and 1/2 will be cancelled. So what is remaining? K r square theta into theta dot is equal to 0. Now see, in each of these term, there is a theta dot, theta dot, theta dot. Okay, so this theta dot is going to be cancelled because right hand side there is a 0. Okay, so what is remaining now? Mr square plus I, because here also theta dot theta double dot term is there. Here also theta double dot term is there. So you can take common theta double dot. Okay. So mr square plus I bracket complete theta double dot plus kr square theta is equal to 0. Remember, theta dot will never come in the undamped free vibration. Okay. So if your something is wrong, theta dot is coming, then you have to check your equation. So then take this mr square plus I or divide this mr square plus I so that you will get this equation in your regular form of simple harmonic motion. So theta double dot is equal theta double dot plus kr square upon mr square plus I theta is equal to 0. So this is your final equation, equation for natural frequency. So SHM is theta double dot plus omega n square theta is equal to 0. Therefore, Fn is equal to 1 upon 2 pi square root of kr square upon mr square plus I. Okay. Now you can put the value of I here. See, I have written what is I? Mass moment of inertia of pulley. So it is given by capital M r square by 2. So when you put the value here, what you are getting? 1 upon 2 pi square root of kr square upon small m capital R square plus capital M capital R square by 2. So this is the answer. Understood? Now let us go to last problem of this session. Okay. See, this is the problem which will give you the linear stiffness, the stiffness of the spring and torsional stiffness of the spring. Okay. So let us see the statement. A uniform rigid rod is restrained to move vertically by both linear and torsional springs. So this is the problem wherein both the type of springs are used, linear also and torsional also. As shown in following figure, calculate the frequency of vertical oscillation of the rod. Assume the mass of the rod as m. Okay, so this is your system. Okay, it is a so when you say apply the force here at this end, okay, or you try to apply the force here, what will happen? This complete system will vibrate in vertical direction. Okay. So again, what we have to draw the diagram in the displaced position, assuming that at any time t, this rod, which is otherwise horizontal, in equilibrium position, it is going to remain horizontal. But now if I apply a force here so that it will move in a vertical direction up and down. Okay. So that vibration or that natural frequency we have to find out. Okay. Now see, consider this free body diagram. Okay. This is your free body. This is your free body diagram. And this is the diagram in displaced position. Okay. Horizontal is the equilibrium position. Now assuming this rod at any time t moves or rotate by angle theta. Okay. So this is the length of the rod, that is L. This is angle theta. And see, we have to assume that what is the displacement of the spring. Both the springs are having same stiffness K. Okay. So this spring will deflect by X amount and this spring will also deflect by X amount. Remember, there is no X1 and X2. Even if you write down X1 and X2, its amount will be same. So X1 is equal to X2. That's why we have written combined parameter or one parameter, that is X. Okay. Now, again, there are two parameters. X is the say translatory motion of the spring and theta is angular displacement of the rod. So what is the relation between these two, theta and X? Again, same equation you have to use. Arc is equal to R into theta. So X is equal to L into theta. This is the relation. So either you have to write down your equation in terms of X, okay, neglecting theta or replacing theta, or you can write down your equation in terms of theta replacing X. Okay. So this is the free body diagram. What are the different forces acting on this rod? See, at any time t, it is going down by amount theta. So this lower spring will be compressed. So it will provide spring force in upward direction. What is the amount of the spring force? K into X. Then when this rod will go down, this upper spring will be getting stretched. So what is the spring force provided by this upper spring? It is in the opposite, it is in the upward direction. And what is the amount? Again, same, that is K into X. So this is the spring force provided by upper spring K into X. This is the spring force provided by the lower spring K into X. Okay. Now, as we are providing this clockwise moment, okay, your inertia torque will be applied, or say it is in the clockwise direction, IO theta double dot. Okay, so this is the inertia torque in clockwise direction. And there is one more restoring torque provided by this torsional spring. This is the addition in the problem, no? So this torsional spring, which is having KT, what is KT? Torsional stiffness of the spring. Okay, so what is the spring force or torque provided by this torsional stiffness of the spring? KT into theta. Okay, simply you know spring force F is equal to K into X. So for torsional, K is replaced by KT and X is replaced by theta. So KT into theta is the torque, restoring torque provided by this torsional spring. What do you mean by restoring word? Restoring means, go by the meaning, to restore the original position, because we have deflected this bar by theta amount. Okay, so it will try to go to its equilibrium position. So what are the forces responsible to restore its position? That is known as the restoring force or restoring torque. So this spring will provide the restoring torque KT into theta. Okay, now we have to apply here the Newton's second law of motion. So inertia torque is equal to summation of all the torques. We have assumed clockwise direction positive because inertia torque is acting in the clockwise direction. Okay, so now here actually in this problem I have assumed anti-clockwise positive. Okay, so that is anti-clockwise positive. That means clockwise inertia torque will be having negative sign. So minus I theta double dot is equal to. Now our anti-clockwise is positive. So now see what is the torque provided by this spring force Kx. Kx into this distance. How much is this distance? See, this is L and this is theta. Okay, so x is equal to L theta. So what is your equation now? Kx into L theta. Okay, so this is the torque K, or you can say Kx into L. See here, this is your L. Okay, and KT, where is theta? Here x is equal to L theta. Okay, Kx is the force. Okay, and this x is here also x is equal to L theta. We have considered x is equal to L theta. Actually, this should be x1. Huh? So now forget about this. Directly we'll write down Kx into what is this distance? L into theta. Okay, so see this step. IO theta double dot is equal to, okay, K into L theta. Don't write down x here, otherwise you will get confused. K into L theta plus this spring also K into L theta. So what is the this spring, this statement of these two, when we add these two forces, what we will getting? 2K into L theta. Okay, so now here, what is the torque provided by this KT into theta? It is already, this is torque only, and it is acting in anti-clockwise direction, so positive. Okay, so what will be your equation? IO theta double dot plus KT into theta, torque provided by torsional spring, plus 2K into x is L theta. Okay, so x is equal to L theta, that is L square theta. So what is your equation now? I theta double dot plus KT into theta. Shit. Sorry, power went off. Now